this is where you get prepared for the bigger things that are going to happen later this year. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel or join us in the VIP member area. Now, let's go to a very low-key catalyst that hit today. It is shocking, this catalyst that just hit. All right, JP Morgan just came in, all right, and secured a $500 million investment in a small coin, Numer AI. What Numer AI does is they are a quant system that runs on a blockchain used to help predict the stock market. Lo and behold, JP Morgan comes in with this, decent sized investment to get itself involved in, the blockchain, real world assets, AI, all of the above. And there's not a whole lot of talk about it. Everything is like stable coins and ETH going to 10,000. Meanwhile, RWA, AI, and DeFi, C, all the above, D, all the above is happening now. Okay. And this Numeraire coin, just so you know, is something that the GAN model, and I think Toby has talked about multiple times. This coin just absolutely took off, as you might suspect, practically like 2x overnight on this type of move. Now, whether you caught it or you didn't catch it, that kind of coin was right up our angle in terms of like AI and DeFi. The point is, it's on. What layer ones are out there outside of ETH and Solana? If ETH and Solana continue to outperform, what will be the next group of altcoins? And we're already hearing stories of big players dumping Bitcoin to get involved in levered ETH, which is fine. I mean, ETH is going to outperform Bitcoin most likely for years. But there is a lot more out there. Let's begin with a lot more out there. This time we're going to do the monologue style instead of the screen share style. So if you like this, feel free to let us know in the comments down below. We got to start talking about layer ones outside just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, the ones people want to talk about, like Sui. Sui is currently trading at $3.42, and we would anticipate that coin can actually double by the time all this is said and done, say by mid-January. Toby said this morning, August 27th, that Sui was going to take really good care of you. I couldn't agree more. DeFi on Sui will likely explode. They will also likely have institutional partners. I mean, if Numer AI can get JP Morgan, if Arbitrum can get Robinhood, what else is out there? Avalanche, they're next. Their C-Chain can do security tokens. Coin is trading at 24. It's been as high as 50. It probably should be top 5 or top 10. That's my opinion. When this thing came out, it was like going to be world changing. Now you can barely get anybody to have a conversation about it. Speaking of nobody wanting to have a conversation about it, there's Aptos and liquid staking in Aptos. Now, when Aptos first came out, it was kind of a Coinbase shitcoin trio. It was Sui, SEI, and Aptos. Okay, SEI had its day in the sun. Sui did have a big outperformance period, more coming, as I just said. But you got to start looking out for like what the next group of layer ones is. And, Toby likes Aptos, right? And it makes sense. I mean, Aptos is ex-Meta people, and Meta is going to build a data center in Louisiana that is the size of the island of Manhattan. So one is not necessarily related to the other, but Wall Street coming to crypto, AI coming to crypto, and the AI trade mooning along with the crypto trade makes sense. They should both moon together. Now, let's talk about finance and money. Of course, there's XRP. Everyone's talking XRP. No problem with that. Toby's talking QNT. Okay, the coin is right now trading at 104 at the end of August. Upside target could be above 184 by the time it's all said and done. It could be higher based on the way Toby talks about it. And then you start moving down into what I would call, I'm calling them businesses, places that larger Web 2 players or Wall Street players are going to go for partnerships. Like, I can't believe there isn't going to be a BlackRock and Ondo announcement. Toby's also got Omen there for value investing. I can't believe there isn't going to be an RWA announcement. There has to be, especially because of ETH outperformance. Like I said, ETH and Solana just continue to outperform the market. They go up a lot on green days. They don't go down a lot on red days. You got your answer. There's Ondo. There's Arbitrum, the ETH Layer 2, right? It's king right now. And that only continue and only get bigger, right? Because you got to start asking yourself, when ETH goes, okay, everyone thinks ETH's going to 8,000. That's fine. We have a report about that, what the probabilities of that number is. But what else goes? Well, Arbitrum, and the other one we have is Sky, which used to be Maker, okay, a profitable finance business. Jupiter, the Solana DEX, we have that on a buy right now list at the end of August, along with QNT and Near. The other hot layer one from the last cycle is very hot in terms of the kind of tech it had. No one's talking about it. You've also got RWA plays like Pendle. So Pendle is your number one place to go and get yield, or could be. Clearpool is another lender like, Goldfinch or a lot of these other players. So lending, borrowing, DeFi, yield, trading, all these things all fit in this area. And these are altcoins that, I don't know that are getting a lot of attention. Jupiter, QNT, and we've even got Optimism on the list. Like, you got an ETH Layer 2 like Optimism is, the 100th largest coin. Arbitrum is the 50th largest coin. Again, it feels like one of those coins should be top 10 and the other one should be top 25. Now, everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so bullish ETH. Okay. Well, the entire ETH universe hasn't moved. I mean, forget about like it, don't like it. It hasn't moved. Everybody thinks this is like a 1 or 2 coin market, and you could turn around and say, well, that's because it's all done by the ETFs. Yeah, but at the end of August, the normies were all selling the ETFs. So it's like the market is ignored. These coins have been ignored. And when that changes, ETH showed you what happens when that changes. ETH went from 1,500 to 2,500, and then it just simply doubled. And no one has really put it together that these coins can all do the same thing. It only takes one announcement. And there was really no announcement in ETH, except for the fact that, there was asset allocation going on from tech stocks and Bitcoin into ETH, but there was no one thing that drove it to 4,000. Now everybody's on the tape talking about much higher numbers. Fine. But then, you have to be willing to roll into the rest of this stuff. Other coins, like the Also Ran Group, Secret Network, Privacy, it's done absolutely nothing. They have DEXs and things like that. Silent Swap, all of that runs on secret technology. Monero, which you can get on Kraken, absolutely destroyed with this 51% attack. There's a micro layer 1 Velos, okay, that popped up on the radar. It's not actually, it's not on the list I made, but it's in the honorable mention sector, along with, Numeraire, which is, already up, ticker symbol NMR, right? It's up 82% in 7 days. And of course, again, final point, if you don't figure out how to get outside the basic layer ones into cross-chain and interoperability, there's going to be an element of missing out. Now, the final note is a boomer coin, Cosmos. Very popular with big hedge funds in terms of building out blockchains, connecting blockchains. Everyone's like, yeah, well, that's boring. Okay, well, its market cap is only $2 billion. The Meta data center in Louisiana is going to cost $50 billion. So a building is worth more than a lot of these coins all put together. The market has already demonstrated a propensity for volatility, namely sucking everybody in on Powell and then dropping it on sector rotation, where someone sells Bitcoin in the middle of the night and then tries to buy the entire market back, or the altcoin market back, with everything down 10%. So the net is, get ready, because everybody wants to know why altcoins haven't moved or why they haven't gotten the cycle that they wanted. The cycle that you wanted has coming, and these are the top altcoins